Good, good.
Hey everybody, welcome to Feeding the Family. I'm your host, Jill Troderman. Today we have a great guest. Her name is Dr. Carola Cuenca. Carola, Dr. Cuenca, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you. So today we're going to be talking about balancing our health with homeopathy. Dr. Cuenca is a homeopathic practitioner, and she is passionate about natural medicine for as long as she can remember. She was born and raised in Los Angeles, now she calls beautiful Santa Cruz her home. Her journey into natural healing started early, influenced by her mom, who was a nurse. Growing up, she treated her siblings and Dr. Carola with home remedies and real homemade food, sparking her fascination with how the body heals. This curiosity led her to earn her degree in Spanish literature and psychology at the California State University of Los Angeles, and later took a deep dive into the world of natural medicine and homeopathy. Since 2024, she's had the privilege of helping people regain their health and vitality using a holistic approach.
2014.
Oh, since 2014. That's a typo. Sorry about that, folks. Using a holistic approach that focuses on treating the whole person, not just symptoms. Dr. Cuenca's work is all about listening to the heart and soul-based themes behind disease and addressing the root causes with drugless, natural methods. She specializes in women's, children's, and adolescent health issues and is dedicated to helping all her patients live their healthiest, happiest lives. So welcome, Dr. Cuenca. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. And I'd love to hear what people have to say. And if they have any questions, I don't know if they come into the show or not.
Yeah, and well, I have some questions for you.
Perfect.
So first of all, I'd like to just take a deep dive into homeopathy. I'm familiar with it. I think a lot of folks are familiar with the word homeopath and homeopathy, but I'm sure a lot of people are mystified by this. I know we see those pellets in the store, and could you share with us a simplified version, or
Sure.
you can deep dive into it however you want, about what really is homeopathy?
Of course. It's a pleasure. Well, how does it work? And what is it? Well, I want to begin by saying that the purpose of homeopathy is to improve the quality of humankind. It was given to us by God to better for this world. And homeopathic remedies are essentially purified sparks of God consciousness.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
I love that.
So, in the 1700s, a German doctor, Samuel Hahnemann, discovered a different approach to medicine and healing, which he called homeopathy, which is from the Greek words meaning similar suffering. It is a natural system of medicine effective in treating many acute and chronic health problems. Homeopathy is based on the pharmacological law called the law of similars, which states that any substance that produces some specific symptoms in a healthy person, when given in the full strength, will cure a sick person with the same symptoms. So that's basically what homeopathy does when given in a very diluted form. For instance, exposure to a raw onion that's being cut may cause burning, itching, tearing of the eyes, and running of the nose. Homeopathically, a remedy called allium cepa, which is the red onion, okay, it will cause those same exact symptoms in a healthy person. So if someone has like hay fever, this is what one of the remedies you would give. Or another one, ipecac, taken by a healthy person will cause vomiting, but if taken in the homeopathic doses, will cure vomiting. This is what we call like cures like.
Like cures like. So can you explain, so you're saying that scientists have figured out how to take these natural substances from minerals, from our plant world, even maybe some from the animal world.
Yes.
And they take that, and they dilute it to almost where if you were to analyze it, you wouldn't even detect that element. Is that correct?
You wouldn't detect any of the substance. It's just the
Fascinating.
information of that remedy, of that mineral or that plant or that animal. So the homeopathic remedies work by stimulating the patient's innate healing system. We call this, in homeopathy, the vital force. The homeopathic remedy aids and acts as a stimulus to move the system to work properly on its own.
Okay.
See? And treatment in homeopathy is actually individualized and based on the patient's complete mental, emotional, and physical picture. So if there's a person that is suffering from arthritis, let's say, and there's two people. So one person is affected by the cold and the other one is affected by heat. I cannot give the same remedy to both for arthritis because every person experiences it differently. See?
I see. So you have to take each person individually and really analyze their whole person and how they're responding to whatever illness. Because everyone, like you're saying, experiences and they manifest their illnesses in different ways.
Correct.
So you have to figure that out and then figure out the remedy. And how many remedies are there?
Oh my God.
Like hundreds?
Yeah, no, thousands.
Thousands.
And then they are all listed in the homeopathic materia medica, and as a result, the remedy is selected for each person, and it is given to this person that it brings out a state of balance and helping to release the symptoms from the body. That's how it cures.
Okay.
You see, so it actually assists in the natural healing that we all have. So it's like a complement to our healing.
So it's almost like you're stimulating your body to do its own natural healing. You're not
Suppressing.
dependent or suppressing a
Correct.
symptom or anything. You're encouraging.
Yes.
Like it's a memory. Like
Right. So if, for example, there's a cough suppressant, right, out in the market. Oh, the baby has or a child or an adult has a cough. The first thing they go out to is, they'll go get, I don't want to name, but
we can
they'll
all
go get
know what the aisles are filled with, yeah.
So they'll get a cough suppressant, so they don't have the cough anymore. But the body's trying to expel accumulation of phlegm in the lungs or in the bronchi, in the throat, whatever it needs to get cleared up. So there's homeopathic remedies. For example, there's one called Antimonium tartaricum. That one actually just assists in the expelling. So you are doing it, but it helps it go even faster with the homeopathic remedy instead of suppressing it. Why do you want to stop it from the body from healing?
Right. Now let's take, for instance, like a fever. That would be a very common thing that parents in general would want to get rid of. They want to suppress the fever. But that's our body's way of killing a virus or a bacteria or a fungus or something. So it's a natural way.
Yes.
So homeopathy is supporting the body doing its own natural healing as opposed to suppressing symptoms, letting the body produce that cough, produce the phlegm, get rid of the fever naturally. And
Right. Now the fever, if it goes above, let's say 103 up to 104, then you really want to go and use some form of homeopathy to bring it down, but not completely remove the fever.
Understood. Because we do know that certain fevers are high and you don't want to let that.
Yeah, it could create
102.
convulsions or,
Seizures, of course.
Seizures, of course, yes.
That's amazing. Okay, so now can you share a little bit about how you personally got interested in homeopathy of all the disciplines in the world, of all the naturopathic ways you could have chosen to work with people? Why homeopathy?
Well, because it was a form of medicine that is just so natural. It comes from nature, and we are part of nature. So I just thought that it was a gentle way of treating human beings or myself or my children. And not only that it's gentle, it's effective and it's quick.
And it's quick.
Yes.
And it works.
Yes, and it works, exactly.
Right? Yeah, and can we touch on that just a teeny little bit? Because I think people might think like, well, how on earth could something with what you would call that spark, that's God spark, or this energy, it's really energy medicine.
Correct.
And it has some people might have some negative connotations to that. Why is that? And how can we encourage people to look at this as an amazing healing tool? For instance, we know that in Europe, the UK, the royal family uses homeopathy.
Yes.
The Danes use it.
Yes.
Right? All around
Yes.
the world, people
in
are
France, in Italy. I mean,
France.
all the European countries are very. It's part of their healing.
Right. So that's a
system.
natural part of their medicine.
Yes.
Their medicine toolbox, you
And
could
the
say.
Germans, yes, of course.
Right. And how about Americans? Are we a little slow on using homeopathy?
I think so, but I think we're all catching up.
Okay, I like that. That's great.
Yes.
Well, we do want to drive people to your practice for sure.
Yes.
So now you've addressed a couple things like arthritis. I mentioned fever. What are some other ailments that, for instance, parents in general might want to come and see you for? Like, what kind of illnesses are successfully treated?
Well,
That
again.
you can share with our audience, because I want to turn people on to this.
Okay, of course.
This is an exciting thing.
Well-
I'll just share with our listeners, I did use homeopathy with my kids. And I had to shake the little bottle. And my kids remember, like, it just tastes like a sugar pill, Mom. And I'm like, it's going to work. And it did. Like, it really was an amazing thing that we used in our family. So maybe other listeners would be really fascinated to learn about what ailments they can use with their kids.
Of course. Well, like I said, homeopathy not only offers relief from temporary disorders like a fever or a cough or, runny nose, but also can provide deep healing on a person suffering from a chronic condition. Okay? This includes conditions of a physical, emotional, and mental nature. Homeopathy is also a preventive method. It helps to strengthen the protector or the support system that we have. I don't want to call it immune system, because we are naturally know our bodies are programmed and to heal themselves. So we know how to heal.
Can you share that again? You don't like to use the term the immune
Immune
system?
system.
Because
Right.
we are, like, our whole body is an immune system. Is that what you're saying?
No, our body has its own protective mechanism. Okay? So when they say that the immune system is attacking itself, it's like, that doesn't make any sense in my mind. But, I can't go against the establishment. So I say is that I call it the protector system or the support system that we have naturally in our bodies. And our bodies are never going to attack itself. They're only going to do its best to get to homeostasis. So it's always constantly trying to achieve health.
I see.
Okay. So to answer your question about what other things, it could help with allergies, nosebleeds, headaches, PMS, hormonal issues both in men and women, infertility, to anxiety, ADD. I've helped a lot of children with pertussis, with whooping cough. I hope that doesn't make a big controversy here.
No, we can
But
talk
with
about that.
autism, a lot of children that were unable to focus or were in their own little world. Now I have several cases where one of them is already graduating from college.
That's amazing.
It may not. I mean, this was many years ago, but it was a process. Of course, the parents have to cooperate as well. They have to, with nutrition, which is out in your field, and it also, behavior modification, making sure that the child is constantly making eye contact. This is talking about the autism spectrum, and there's a big range in that. So there's also very helpful for insomnia, for depression. Some people find that they are so depressed that they're sometimes wanting to, they have a loathing for their life. And so there's many homeopathic remedies out there from, there's one called Lycumenum, there's one called oxytocin, which is made from oxytocin, from the hormone, which is the love hormone. And it really helps with people who are not necessarily suicidal, but there's one actually called Arometallicum that is used to help open the person's perception to seeing life in a different perspective. So that's many, many different things. Irritability, teething. I mean, there's a lot of things that helps homeopathy can help with.
It sounds exciting. Like, I'm sure people are going to be either flooding to you or running to the health food store, but
Yeah.
who doesn't want to get rid of all of those things? I know everyone has
course.
melancholy, and we've all experienced our kids with different, maybe mental health issues
Yes.
or certain things. Can you talk a little bit about when is it appropriate for people to self-medicate with homeopathy? Like from the things that you see at the grocery store? That's what I keep thinking, is seeing the Boiron bottles,
Correct.
or coming to see a practitioner like you. When is it appropriate to self do that?
Okay. So, of course, I would rather see the patient and guide them directly and instruct them and take the whole picture of this person, child, or I even see animals, by the way.
Okay.
Then I observe the animal's behavior, or I get the symptoms from the owner or their masters. And so, but going into a health food store and saying, well, unless you're familiar with a remedy. Okay, let's say arnica.
Let's talk about arnica, right?
Yeah.
So that's a common one that people could
Everybody's,
use.
even the medical establishment is using it for pre and post surgery. They're thinking we can take arnica before and after your surgery, so.
That's like the gateway
Yeah, exactly.
homeopathic remedy.
So I'm glad that at least they're open to that. But so arnica, okay, so you know that if you fall, you get a bruise, or you're injured or something, that's the best thing to take. So yeah, that's a good way to do it because you already know about it. But if you're going to go into something for depression, or let's say someone who has a eating disorder, anorexia or bulimia, there's many homeopathic remedies, but I cannot say take this one because I have to take the whole picture of this person. I have to listen to their mental and emotional state. I also have to see what happened in their childhood, maybe their history. There's some intense trauma that happened in their life. Maybe it happened in utero when their mother was pregnant. Who knows? There's a lot of factors that will be added on to my observation and prescription of the homeopathic remedy.
Yeah, so it's very complicated when you're dealing with, let's say, really complicated issues, like mental health disorders, maybe cancer, some of those big issues. People really need to see a practitioner like yourself.
Correct.
I understand. I would like to share a story about arnica.
Tell me.
So my older son was playing baseball. He was the pitcher. And he got hit with a line drive right in his head.
Ouch.
Right in his forehead. And I really think I scaled the fence and jumped over the whole thing. I ran, and as I was running to get my older son, I yelled to my husband at the time, "Go home and get the arnica."
Oh, cute.
Those were the two things. That was the only thing. Get to my kid, go get the arnica. I didn't even think about ice at the time, but it was kind of like going to get the arnica. And we gave him that arnica. He never developed any swelling.
Wow.
There was no egg on his head. And I mean, that's just one experience because, like I said, we had used homeopathy for many different things. I've even used it myself. But for an acute situation like that, it was pretty miraculous.
Totally. And it is an analgesic. It is a pain relieving.
Right.
So.
And you can even do arnica maybe for personal, like emotional hurt. Is that true? Or
it's true.
Is that
depending, if you're connecting the emotional trauma or the emotional connection to your physical body. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it will bring down the pain, and it'll be an eye opener for you to see how and when was this pain started. You see?
Right.
So the arnica does help in that way too.
Okay, so does this mean, from what you're saying, is that we're storing all of our memories from birth, pre-birth, childhood, all of that gets stored in our bodies, and it impacts us throughout our entire lives?
Yes. And it's almost like, again, I'll give you the many homeopaths use this analogy of an onion. So in the core, there's just the essence of the onion. But then there's all these layers. Then you start to peel them off because you've accumulated all of these throughout your life, like carrying on this baggage That's why it's so much easier to treat children, because they have less baggage.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, okay, not baggage.
Can we go back in time?
Layers.
They have layers. Right, so that's something that people can do. Start your children off early.
Yes.
But I like that onion analogy, and it's true. We do accumulate our history, and it does get stored, and homeopathy can remedy all that. Now, kids are really struggling today with mental health issues. It's something that's really on the top of my mind, like with all the electronics and their disassociate nature to our life. Can homeopathy help with that kind of stuff, like the psychology, the spirit of the angst? And I know even adults are having that.
Yes.
The conflict with relating to our world right now.
Everything's social media, and there's like this whole competition. I don't have enough followers, or I need to be seen.
Right.
And it's just, all this is so off track of what we're naturally made. We're made to be out in the sun, to be with other children or other adults, socially, family. And that's the other thing. People stay away from their family, and it's like, no. In ancient times, there was like we all lived like sort of like in tribes. So let's look at the Native Americans. They all have their own little tribes, and if there's a one addition, they make sure that they're all welcomed. And when a daughter gets married and that other person is brought in, that family, they know each other, and the grandparents are there, the great grandparents. It's a unit that all has been broken now with our society changing. So, but again, homeopathy is a wonderful way to treat many of the current mental issues and social issues that are happening now, in adults and children. The first thing is the lack of wholesome foods, homemade foods, because that's what I think is very important.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I think that in my practice, what I do is I make sure that I find out what blood type this person is, because I know it seems to be very basic. Some people are now like, oh, I'll do the carnivore, or I'll do the vegan, or I'll do the vegetarian diet, or I'll do the whatever. It's a whole myriad of different diets. But what I do is I just basically use this blood type guide only as a guide, not as a rule. So, because then our bodies, each blood type has a certain chemicals in their body that to be able to digest what you're taking in. And everything out in nature is a chemical, So let's say water. Water is composed of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. So it's a chemical. So everything. So when people start eating like, organic foods, homegrown foods, homemade, nothing from a box, that's the best thing. Staying away from carbonated, sugary drinks like sodas.
Sure.
That's one no. An occasional one. It's okay if you want to get a refreshment that way, but why not just water or a good fresh juice, that you just made from. I know that not everybody has the luxury of having fruit trees in their homes, but if you can, and if you do, hey, use your own fruit, or go to the local farmer's market and get that. So there's also environmental toxins, exposures, excessive screen time, videos, TV, and not enough playing with nature, not enough sun exposure. That also contributes to all the disaster that's happening right now with our children and kids and humans and everywhere.
Seriously, it does feel like a disaster, and let's address that disaster in a moment. We're going to take a short commercial break, and you are listening to Feeding the Family with Jill Troderman on SantaCruzVoice.com, and I've got Dr. Carola Cuenca in the house. We will be right back after this short message.
Businesses and job opportunities in Santa Cruz County. The Pajaro Valley Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture's Business Expo and Job Fair is Thursday, April 10th from 4 until 7 at the Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. This is an exciting event full of great activities for all. taste samples from wonderful restaurants, win prizes, and get to know local businesses. Thursday, April 10th from 4 until 7 at the Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. Admission is free and everyone is welcome.
You need a clean, pleasant space to conduct business, but you don't want the burden of a long, expensive lease. Your solution is Satellite Co-working and Digital Media Studio. Satellite offers private offices, meeting and conference rooms, even co-working by the hour, day, week, or month. Schedule a tour at satellitecoworking.com. Mention Santa Cruz Voice for 20% off your first reservation.
Hey, Warren, you know, it's been a while since I've been up to your showroom and garden center in Scotts Valley. Maybe the folks out there might want to know where you are.
Absolutely. To find Knox Roofing and the Knox Garden Box Company, just head up into beautiful Scotts Valley. We're at 46 El Pueblo Road, next door to Scarborough Lumber and the beautiful nursery. And when it comes to wood items, we have It's All About Wood gift shop. And, of course, the Knox Garden Box. Lots to look at. We'd love to see you at Knox Roofing and the Knox Garden Box store. Okay, thanks, folks.
Cannabis is one of nature's most beneficial plants, and at Treehouse Dispensary, we use it to build community. In addition to dispensing cannabis and education, Treehouse hosts First Friday events every month that feature our community's local artists, makers, and activists. If you're 21 plus, join us at 3651 Soquel Drive every First Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. to enjoy the work of local artists and musicians, find one-of-a-kind gifts, and learn more about the top cannabis products in California. See you soon.
Okay, folks, we are back. We've got Dr. Carola Cuenca, a homeopathic practitioner, and we are talking about using homeopathy as a medicine. I'm not even going to say alternative medicine. Homeopathy's been used since the 1700s. And it's used widely in Europe, and even in America, a lot of practitioners are using it. We've talked about the hospitals are using it for emergency medicine, for arnica. They're using arnica, a remedy. So we were going to talk a little bit more about kids and the strife that they're enduring right now. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about how important it is for kids to be eating healthy foods, not out of packages, no toxins, but really getting out into nature and being with friends. Yes. And putting down the social media. Mm-hmm. So can you just share what your experience is with some of your clients that you're seeing and how it's complicated to put down the phone?
Well, I have, for example, because I have a bicoastal practice in Florida, I have several children that have been brought to me, and the children start to scream when they take away the phone from them or the tablet. It's just like it's insane. I mean, I'm sure most people have seen that. So all I can suggest at that point is just don't take it away, because you'll have a child having tantrum all day long. Just limit the screen time. That would be one thing. And making sure that it's parental control in it as well, because there's so much exposure to stuff that children shouldn't be looking at or listening to.
I agree 100%. I mean, right. They do say that some kids shouldn't even have phones until they're 18. Way into their teens.
18.
Because the addiction, I know I struggle with that.
Yes. So, yeah, and of course, it is a lot has to do with the parents participating in and getting involved with their children's activities. Okay, we're going to go camping. Oh, today we're going to go and cut fruit, or we're going to go and see your cousins, or we're going to go and have a play date, and making sure that it's always outside where they're getting the sun, where they're running, where they're exercising, and socializing in that way. I mean, we're mammals. We're we're mammals where we're like social beings. We're not isolated ones. We're not like a bird or like an eagle that's kind of on its own, alone. And even then, they do have connections with their mates or their offspring. You see, so
kids are really missing out on the socialization that we are inherently designed to have in our lives.
Correct.
And so, in order to do that, it really comes down to the parents creating that atmosphere of socialization, doing what you talked about, cutting fruit, beautiful things, and spending in particular, I've heard you say this many, many times, being outside.
Yes.
That we are nature. We need to be outside in the sun.
Correct.
And I was just reading before I came here, somebody wanted sunscreen for infants and babies. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know where to start on that.
When they ask you about that, the first thing I say is just use, you want some sunscreen, use coconut oil. It has an SPF of 8. That's all you need. If you want to put a sunscreen. Otherwise, there's no need. Right. Unless you're going to be completely exposed and your child will get sunburned. But when you have enough vitamin D, your body won't get sunburned.
I think that's fascinating. So are we we're overusing sunscreen? And maybe that's another reason for our illnesses.
Correct, yeah.
So how do we get people off of that? That's really interesting.
Just by the more we mentioned the natural ways to use sunscreen, which is not really any of the chemicals, I would be using the natural ones.
Right, like coconut oil and carrot, I think.
Yes, it has
carrot seed oil.
Yeah, it has beta-carotene in it, so it protects the skin.
And then when we're putting all that sunscreen on, we are disabling our body to manufacture vitamin D and
the
our
melanin.
hormones, right?
Right, and it's a disruptor, a hormone disruptor, all these chemicals.
For sure.
Anything you put on your skin, within 20 seconds, it's absorbed into the bloodstream. So
that's pretty fast.
That applies to any skincare or anything else that is not natural.
Right. So you better make sure you want to eat that sunscreen.
That's right. That's a good one.
And let the kids get a little sun exposure.
Yes.
And the hours of proper sun would be in the early, like 10 to 12.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
So don't bake in the sun.
Or after 2.
After 2, but enjoy sunshine. Don't be afraid, essentially.
Correct.
So remember that you're an animal. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay.
Yes.
And speaking of kids, let's dive in a little bit to supporting our mama bears out there with fertility and the birthing process, because that can be a scary thing too. Because I think this conversation is really about embracing our nature.
Yes.
And embracing our nature means allowing those experiences to happen. So childbirth. Mm-hmm. Homeopathy can assist in that.
Yes.
Help our mamas out there.
Oh, yes.
And fertility, I don't know which one you want to talk about. I don't want to bombard you.
Well, there's a lot of things it's a very hot topic because there's so many people out there that now want to have children after their careers, which is sometimes they want to have a planned birth, or they want to wait till they buy the house, or until they're making so much money because they cannot. Sometimes it's best just to allow the child to come when it's right, and God and you, or I don't want to mention God, but okay, nature will actually provide, okay? And a lot of women have gone on birth control for years, and that completely disrupts the hormonal system. And then when they want to have children, they have a blockage. So then what I do is I help them by detoxing them with herbal tinctures that are all made from homeopathy. Then I also support their hormonal system with also herbs. Like there's one that's really good to bring them back into balance is the evening primrose oil is a really good one. And that one helps a lot of young girls too for acne or balancing for PMS. It's really great. Women who are falling into late perimenopause or early menopause, that one also helps with a lot of the transition. If they continue with that, they may not even go through a full menopause. So it's so fertility is has to do with also, do you want to have children? Some women think they do because now they're married, or they think, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. And so that's also stopping the body to be open and allowing fertilization.
Interesting.
See?
So you have children.
Yes.
Did they participate in your homeopathic
remedies?
Yeah. Did you do trial and error on them?
Well, Unfortunately, I did not know what I know now, but I did limit what I gave them. Okay, and I was trying always. I would always go to my mom. Mom, what do I do for this? And I was always home remedies.
Right.
So nothing really was the hardcore cough suppressants or the Tylenol, none of that stuff. So, but then when my children did have children, so I'm a grandma now, they all, none of the children, for example, my younger daughter, her child has no vaccines. She hasn't been vaccinated, and she's only been treated with homeopathy since she was born.
Right.
That's it. The other ones as well, and I had one of them who, he got the mumps, and I gave him a homeopathic remedy according to what his symptoms were, how he was experiencing it. Instead of lasting 2 weeks or so, it only lasted like 3 days. He still got the mumps, and again, now he's inoculated for life, you see.
Right.
So, and so those are the things that I recommend always, because homeopathy has no side effects. It's safe for infants, safe for pregnant women. So it won't give you any like, you know how you have to take, don't take this when you're pregnant. Don't do this when you're pregnant. Well, homeopathy is totally safe.
Even if you accidentally take the wrong quote-unquote remedy.
Correct. It won't do anything.
No. Okay. You're not going to bring on anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And another amazing thing you do, and I've experienced this myself with Dr. Carola, is thermography.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I know I get the calls, and all women do, to get mammograms. And let me just say to everyone who's listening that we're exploring this.
Yes.
Everyone needs to tune in to what resonates with themselves.
Right.
So we're not here saying you should do this or you shouldn't. This is just an exploration and what feels natural and right for you as a human being.
Right. If it doesn't resonate, then you go to what feels good for you.
To something else, right?
Yes, yes.
So there's so many methodologies out there that we can use to make ourselves as healthy as we can. So one of them is a tool that you use, a diagnostic tool, and it's thermography.
Right.
Would you share what that is?
Yes, of course. So it is a German body scan that discovers hidden infections, dysfunctions in the body, and monitoring progress with each scan that we do. It's great for women with dense breasts that usually mammograms can't see well, and they have to go for further imaging. It's good for women with breast implants. A lot of women now have breast implants. And so this is such a gentle, non-invasive, no radiation method that a lot of women prefer to use instead of going for the mammogram. You know, by the way, this thermography that I use was approved by the FDA as an adjunct to mammography. So it's not like one or the other. It could be used as well for detection of any dysfunctions in the breast.
So maybe people would even use that as a second diagnosis.
Correct.
If they wanted to get a second opinion.
That would be a good one to do.
Right.
Yes.
And it's thermography.
So it's heat.
So there's heat.
Right. And so the way it works is that it's through the vascular system on top of the heat of the body, the organs, through the vascular system goes up into the surface of the skin. And that's where with a thermometer, we measure there's 120 points in the body. And that way we will be able to tell and assess the health of these organs. We do 2 readings, one where most of the clothes are on. Then after the first reading of the 120 points, we have the patient undress and just leave their underwear on. And the room is usually between 69 and 72 degrees. So it's not really cold. But just by undressing, your body is adjusting to the change of temperature. So then we do the second reading. And after that, person just gets dressed, and then we get a result and comparison of how the body adjusted from warm to cold, and how the body or each organ was able to adjust, either if it's hypo, underfunctioning, or hyper, overfunctioning. And that way we can see if there's any blockages and what is the organ that we should go directly to treat. So Yes.
So if you had lung issues or arthritis, then your body, the temperature difference would somehow on the reading, it would show that there is something like inflammation going on in the body.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes.
you could use that as something that the patient would need to pay attention to.
Correct. And that's when we would decide, okay, well, we use either homeopathic remedies or we put you on a program to, if there's, let's say, mycosis of the gut, there's like overgrowth of bacteria, we'll recommend some probiotics or antifungals. And most of the things that I use are coming directly from Germany, and here I use Hahnemann Pharmacy for in San Rafael for my homeopathic remedies. And of course, if there's any other good supplements, I make sure I've studied which are the best ones, because you can get supplements anywhere. There's so many out there on Amazon, at the Whole Foods or whatever natural health food stores. You see.
I do. I know. And I think sometimes people over supplement or they're using the wrong one. So that's
Right.
a whole nother thing. But so the thermography, so you've been doing that for quite some time and you have good results with that.
Oh, yes. A lot of people find out and they prefer this as to, like I said, the mammogram is a little bit too
Right.
invasive with the plaques, plates hitting the breast and
Right.
radiating it. But it's okay. I mean, if that's what the doctor recommends, then if you feel that that's what you want, then you do that.
For sure. And that would be the same thing as like a colonoscopy. These
Correct.
are what they say are preventative tools. But I always think they're not prevention, they're diagnostics. They're just
Correct.
saying what you have. We want to do the prevention first. And that's why we're here talking about all the things that we can do to prevent illnesses and sicknesses, right?
Right. And of course, the state of mind also is important. So again, coming to a place where your awareness is shifted from being negative or because, I'm sick, I have all these pains. Well, address them with homeopathy naturally. Find out what it is that caused this. There's a cause. There's nothing. It's not because you went into a room where there's sick people and you got sick. Well, why did you get sick? I mean, what was it? Were you compassionate to these people? Were you wanted to be sick like them, or what? What is causing you to believe that your body is broken? Your body is not broken. It is an amazing machine, if you want to call it a machine, and it also always, like I said, is working itself to homeostasis. Always.
I love that you say that. I love the thinking that what we think our body believes, or what we say in our mind we believe.
Yes.
So why not tell our body all the good things?
Right.
And if you are experiencing something, you can honor that and address that. Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
Yes, and look at it. Why am I feeling this pain? Am I feeling this back pain because I don't feel supported? Is it because you didn't fall, you didn't hit yourself? Let's say if it's an accident, that's different. But I'm having a knee pain. What is it? What is it that I'm not being able? What am I fearful about? I cannot bend, or I cannot go forward in life, or having this headache. Am I thinking too much? What am I worrying about too much?
Okay. So there's psychology to it, but maybe there's also physiological things like, I need to stretch, or I overworked in the garden.
Could
or
be.
I worked too hard at the office and I was slumped over.
Correct.
But then that's another thing to pay attention to.
Yes.
Why am I overworking? Why didn't I take a break? Why didn't I stretch?
Right.
Is that
why
right?
is it? Why am I a workaholic? Why do I have to work so much? Is it because I need to perform for whom? I mean, so these are things that you need to look inside and figure it out. And then, I see. So when you figure it out, then the pain is already, it was just telling you, hey, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you feeling the pain? It's because I didn't feel loved enough, or I felt devaluated by someone. Someone said something mean to me and I didn't feel good enough, or what, so it's just different. It's a very deep insight that you have to go in and see what it is. And it's a big topic. It's such a big topic that we can't really cover in a few minutes, but again, like I said, homeopathy does help you be more aware of your environment, of yourself. It changes your perception of the world. So instead of seeing, oh my God, it's raining. Oh my God, you can say, yeah, it's wonderful. The sun is not out. Well, sometimes we need a little shade because it's too hot. It's been too hot. So it's raining. So instead of saying, oh God, I can't go out. Well, maybe you need to be inside, or the the plants are going to get all watered. The soil is going to get moist. There'll be water for the birds. I don't know. You can change your perception of things that you see negatively.
Yeah, I love that you're reminding us, honestly, Dr. Cuenca, that we are a trifecta of our mind, our body, and our spirit.
Right.
And almost talking to you, I almost feel that the spirit, this is not a religious show, guys.
No, not at all.
But we are spiritual beings. So I to really be able to tune into that.
Right.
And maybe that's something that we're missing right now in our very materialistic society.
Yes.
Is slowing down.
Oh my God, yes.
And just like listening, like when in our day do we have a moment of silence where we can just sit with ourselves and even do like our own self-body scan?
Yes.
And then how can we teach our children to do that? How can we teach our teenagers to slow down and to think about how they're feeling? Were they hurt at school emotionally?
Yes.
Are they going to internalize that and then project that or develop something? And how can we help all of us humans in this really intense time remind ourselves to check in with our soul?
Yes.
Check in with our body and our mental state. Is this correct?
Yes, correct. So with the children, it's good to, like you just said it, ask them, how was school today? What did you like about today? Or if they're being homeschooled, what is it that you learned today? Did you enjoy what we did? How about if we go and teach them how to play chess? Chess is an amazing game because it teaches you about life and how to move in the world. Think about it. If you move this piece, what is it going to affect? How is it going to affect all the ones around you? So whatever move you make or whatever thing you may say, how is it going to affect others? It's like throwing that pebble in the pond. It ripples out, you see, and affects worldwide. If you are arguing right now with your husband or you're screaming at your child, that is going to reverberate into, like that ripples in the pond, out into the world. And the more it extends, the bigger it gets, the more wars we will have. So again, that's saying that it starts with me. The peace starts with me. Yeah.
Okay, folks, so stop fighting with your spouses because
Correct.
now we're blaming you for wars. No, but
No.
But that's super cosmic.
It is.
But it is. So, so to check with ourselves, because clearly we can get upset and take responsibility, I think, is really what you're saying.
Right. Because why are you getting upset? Why are you reacting? What did it do? It just created a distance between you and the other person. And instead of like, okay, maybe that person wasn't feeling well and reacted to what I said, or I reacted to what that person said, and that was probably not meant in any way to harm me, but I took it like that. So just breathing and thinking, okay, what am I learning from this? What is this lesson for me? What's it teaching me?
Right.
And again, we're going out into a spiritual part, but right, we were here to talk about homeopathy and
I like this.
medicine and,
Well, I think what we're both of us resonate with is, connecting to the earth, knowing that we're a mind, body, spirit person, and also to not just use one modality in our healing.
Yes.
Right? So we've talked about homeopathy as an amazing tool to use for acute illnesses and even these macro, big chronic things that maybe have been with us. But also how important it is to be in nature.
Yes.
Be in the sun. Eating healthy food.
Exercising.
So it's not one thing. I think that's pretty much the take-home message.
Right. No, and we can end it with like, just be happy.
Wow.
Think about it. Just be happy. Why be angry at things or anything? Just accept what is with humility and just, that makes a big difference. So, okay. I got into a car accident. All right, well, I'll just go get my car fixed, get the insurance if you have insurance. If not, well, what happened? You know, why were you being distracted that you didn't see? You were on the phone or you were texting or what, and you rear-ended someone else. You know, so that's again for you to be in the present moment always.
Always at the present moment, right? Because I think we have fear. Fear comes in when we think about the future.
Yes.
Right? We can't predict, unfortunately, what's going to happen. So we have fear. And then we have anxiety when we think about the past, potentially.
Yeah, what did we do wrong?
We can't really fix that either. So all we have is the present moment. So being peaceful of mind, so we're not putting out our yuck into the world. And to be responsible for your emotions. Be mindful, I think, is what we're talking about. And so clearly your family must have influenced you a little bit too. And these are high spiritual things, but you, so you reside right now currently here in Santa Cruz, California, right?
Yes. And I used to live in LA, and
do you feel like there's hope for us then?
Of course.
For the humans?
Of course there is. It's just a matter, and I think there's a big movement right now. People waking up. This generation of, the teens are waking up. The 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds are all doing their thing. Okay. So I wanted to also mention that I do have a couple of things that I could mention for you to think about if you want. I have a children's homeopathic kit. It's on my website. I also have a pregnancy and birth homeopathic kit, which will assist with a lot of issues while your woman is pregnant. And again, it's safe and easy to take, no side effects. It'll even help if there's one remedy in particular in the pregnancy kit that will help with breech baby. So they can avoid a C-section.
That's amazing. And I've seen these kits, so these are great, the homeopathic kits. So I just want to share with our listeners where they can find you and where they can buy these kits.
Perfect.
Okay, so you can find Dr. Cuenca at balanceintohealth.com. So that's balanceintohealth.com. And Dr. Carola has a practice down on Mission Street for Santa Cruz folks. I do think you have a place in Florida, too.
I do. It's in Miami Beach. It's at 1255 Normandy Drive in Miami Beach.
All right. Well, all of our folks who are listening from the East Coast, you can go check out Dr. Cuenca. And I do believe you can do phone consult, maybe?
I do as well. It's in my website. There's different options that you can contact me in which sessions you would like to do with me.
Perfect. Well, I have loved our conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jill, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. All right. So, folks, I just wanted to share thanks again to Dr. Cuenca for being here. And myself, I do counseling as well. Please visit me at SantaCruzHolisticNutrition.com. I work with parents, kids, children. And thank you for listening to our podcast today. It's been a blast. And also I have a class coming up. Also on my website, you can check it out. It's a plant propagation class that's going to be happening on April 26th. And then I have a lot more classes coming up in May and through the rest of the year. So tune in again, everybody, next week, Wednesdays at 3. And I am Jill Troderman, your host of Feeding Your Family. Have a great day.